Hello and a warm welcome, fellow entrepreneurs, adventurers, and explorers. I am super happy, I'm honored, I'm grateful, and I'm excited to have a very special guest with me here today. Her name is Beata Bednarski, and we've worked together for a month. Beata is a super fascinating human being who currently grows, yes, through a massive growth phase. And I am delighted that she's open and willing and so curious to share her story, to empower other people, to give them hope, and to edutain us today. So, Beata, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Natalia. It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited.
Likewise. So, for those people out there who say, Beata, who's Beata?
Well, I'm Beata, first of all, because I own my name. And after so many years of hiding behind, yes, exactly, behind different titles, different labels, putting different masks on, I realized at the end of the day, I'm myself. I want to be true to myself. I want to love myself because that's something what I haven't done for many, many years, but this has changed not long time ago. If you ask me though, who I am or in a sense of what I do for a living, I'm a health and wellness mentor and a digital marketing specialist with over 13 years of experience in the industry, client side, agency side, public and private sector. And yes, that's my journey, and I'm excited for what will come next.
And where are you based and which part of the world?
I'm in Australia, in the tropics, in Darwin, so the north part of Australia. But I'm from Poland, and I also lived in Germany. I used to live in Berlin for 8 years.
Love it. So we have quite a few things in common. And when I saw you the first time, I felt a little bit reminded of my old self in quotation marks, because you also wear these stunning glasses that I used to wear, red lipstick as I used to wear, and your journey and your mission and mine have quite a few things in common, but let's start bit by bit, step by step from the beginning. Why did you originally or initially contact us? Like, what was the goal or intention here?
Initially, I wanted to work on my money mindset. I did have some limiting beliefs because I did believe that because of my upbringing, I just won't be rich, and that money is something what I can't achieve, or I haven't seen, or I haven't experienced that much. That was the story which I used to tell myself. However, after literally a couple of days, when we worked together, I've realized, no, that's not true. I did have money, or I've seen it, or I was surrounded by comfortable people, and that's not the whole point of it. So that was initially the reason why I reached out to you. I wanted to work on the money mindset.
And I remember we replaced it or upgraded it with a new one and created a beautiful energy field around it. And I think it was maybe after a month that you shared this beautiful story with me, a milestone that I found very deep and touching. And it got me a little bit teary because I don't know if other people understand the depth and the beauty and the transformation of that. So, what is the milestone? And the story that I'm hinting at here is before you used to consume online courses in a very specific way, and now that changed, right?
Yes, I've changed from a consumer to a creator. So I used to buy many different online courses, especially in the field of digital marketing, business. And I thought that I need another course because I might not be good enough. I might not know enough. But well, and I've worked with many different brands, running multi-million dollars campaigns. So definitely, I do know some things about marketing, and I didn't need all of those courses, and they weren't needed at that moment, and they didn't help. That's why I kept buying them. And then I realized after working with you that, well, I don't need them anymore. So I don't need to buy another course from the place of luck, from the place of, I'm not good enough, so maybe I need to learn something else. And I stopped doing that. Yeah, as simple as
Fascinating.
that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Because once again, I feel you, I see you, I hear you.
Mm.
I, in the past, struggled with something similar. There was always the next book, the next online course, the next whatever. And it came similar as for you from a place of lack and not enoughness. And I guess for me, it was also a little bit of FOMO. Ooh, once I have this puzzle piece, I will know everything. Or once I know this, oh, I will finally feel home. But we'll tap into that topic a little bit later. So, as you said, you initially approached us. We had a longer session. We talked about money mindset. We also talked about your human design. And how did the journey then continue? Did other topics come up, or what did we do then?
Yeah, so as I've mentioned, initially I thought the whole month will be only about money mindset and that we would need the whole month to work on that. But we didn't, because I didn't need that anymore. So within a couple of days, we started talking about some other things, and especially about self-love and about as well my business and what do I do in the what should I do, what could I do in the social media space. But again, I thought that maybe I should work on the business plan and the business roadmap and what I could do within the next weeks and months, this kind of push, push, push. And it took me another week, I guess, to realize, no, before I do that, or eventually it will happen naturally. And spoiler alert, it's happening right now. So,
It does. I can see it.
before, yes. So before I do it, let us look at the mindset. Let us look at the foundations. What else is out there what needs to be addressed? And we looked deep into the human design. We looked into the self-love topic. And, if you haven't worked with Natalia, you might not know, you can ask her everything pretty much, and she will she's not a gatekeeper. Often it happens in the mentoring industry that you want to learn, you want to grow, you ask questions, but there is always, mentors not sharing everything, or this kind of invisible wall where you would feel, you know what, that's great, but that's probably not really everything what I would need to grow, but that's not the case with Natalia. And this is why everything what we talked about, it was from my perspective as well, like self-driven. Whatever you need, you are proactive as a mentee, and you ask those questions, because your mentor, they are there to hold the space, and they are there to have some kind of a framework for you. But you deep inside, you know what you need. You just need to say that. You need to make it official, and then you ask for help. And this is where we started working together, and it worked very, very well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the kind words and for pointing that out. There are a couple of things that I find interesting here. First of all, you also worked with another expert on another topic. And after we worked on your money mindset, as you said, we wanted to work on your content and your rebranding and your business plan. And I had this pulling sensation in my stomach, and I said, "Oh, something is not aligned. Something doesn't feel right, but I don't know what it is." But I felt not a disconnection, but a misalignment. So again, you work with another topic expert, you work with me, and within literally the same week, with the other person and with me, you came to the same conclusion that, you know what, let's park the business plan and let's work on other aspects first. As you said, authenticity, who am I, behavior, my mindset, my energy, my whatever it was. You asked all of these questions. And what I loved about working with you is that you're not ashamed. You're not, because some people are like, oh, I can't ask this. I said, literally ask me anything. And we talked about anything and everything. So,
Exactly.
right, this was so liberating to see you step into a childlike curiosity and to be curious and to explore and to, yeah, dig deeper. And from then on, we realized, okay, you know, business, content, let's park that. Let's focus on other things. We also then developed, or you actually developed, I just held the space, a beautiful plan or a strategy. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, so thank you for mentioning that, first of all, because when we worked together, I was thinking how I'm a little bit analytical. That's one of my talents as well. And I was thinking, how do I put all of this together in a framework, in a plan, in something what would keep me accountable? And I developed a self-love plan for mind, body, and soul. And that was something where I wanted to put all of my activities and all of my joys, the things which I would enjoy, which will make me happy. I wanted to put them in there, but I wanted to keep them in balance so that I'm not doing only the things for my mind, but also for my body and for my soul, where you have the connection with other people, when you go and explore, where you start this kind of self-exploration as well, and self-expression. And this plan, I created it for 6 months. And you know what actually happened? Now I'm in the month 3. But yes, this month 3, and the things I planned for the month 4, 5, or even 6, some of them, they've happened already. So when you put your mind and your heart into things, then you start attracting the right people, the right energy. It's very hard to explain because this is not from your mind, that's from your heart, and that's from your intuition. It's something with, you know, some people might think, oh, it's like woo-woo, like you don't, like, what is that, right? But at the same time, I realized as well, well, that's a new way of doing things. I'm going through a transformation. I'm going through a change. Let me see, you know, I don't have anything to lose. I can only win, you know, or I can only learn. And this is why I tapped into that. And that was the game changer.
Absolutely. So what I absolutely loved was that you, again, you had all of these ideas on, I can join a retreat here and a workshop there and a session here, and I want to upgrade my social media gear, and I want to learn how to do reels even more powerful, and Instagram and LinkedIn. And I realized that's all amazing, and let's somehow put that into a container, just something. And as you said, you're analytical and you're very intuitive. Same here. So when you sent me a first draft of this plan, or this, however you want to call it, framework or container, we always agreed on that this is a rough idea. It's not that you have to do this, you've written it into stone, and now no matter what happens, it has to be May and June and July. No, it is an orientation, it's like a guideline. And what was especially important to me was that to see, number one, is there what I perceive a healthy balance of the body, mind, and soul? In the beginning, I think it's okay if I share that. There was a little bit more, let's say, on the mind side, on the analytical side. And again, I see you. I was like, ah, she feels like a little sister. And then so we got in more body elements. And this didn't come from a place of you have to, but it came from a place of me inviting you or me mirroring that back to you. And you were like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So let me reshuffle things. And what I also really, really liked about this plan was that we have this, okay, this is what I want to achieve. This is how I'm going to achieve it. When do I know that I have achieved it? Like, how will it feel? How will it manifest in my reality? Is it something tangible or is it a feeling? Is it how? And as you said, the hows, because you defined them, they showed up in your everyday life and much earlier than you thought about it. So thanks again for sharing that, and thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the major feelings that you're experiencing when you see that? Is it joy? Is it excitement? Is it bliss? Is it, oh my God, can't believe that this is happening so fast? Like, what kind of cocktail of emotions are you going through when you look at how fast it manifested itself?
I think the main thing is joy and energy. You know, before I used to be a little bit exhausted, you know, from especially the hustle culture. And that was something what I was thinking, well, I'm chasing another thing. And I do achieve all of this.
But
so
at what price?
You know? Yes, the price is one thing, but then when you achieve something, when you achieve a success, something what you have been waiting for, but you don't stop, you don't celebrate it, you don't enjoy it, then you keep chasing, you keep going after another goal. So what has changed for me is I slow down, I go and celebrate. I even take myself on a date, you know, just time for myself. And sometimes I buy, you know, some things that bring me joy, but it never, like before it was the case. I would always think, oh, do I need it? Do I really need it? But that was the question your mind would ask you. But now I approach it a little bit from a different perspective. Maybe I need it because it will bring me joy.
Exactly. And we also talked quite a bit about the difference between joy and happiness. And the joy comes from a place of genuine love and appreciation, and it comes from an energy of fullness and not an energy of consumption or lack. And there's also a super cute story that I would like you to share about how your decision making shifted from mind to your gut feeling or your intuition, especially around this one little cute thing that I think is also nearby you. Because in the past, you would have most probably said something like, oh, I don't need this, blah, whatever. But then you decided to go for it. And it brings so much joy into your everyday life. And it felt right. And you did it from a new programming or from a new level of awareness. And you knew and you know that it was the right decision. What's the story about?
Well, if it is what I think it is, so that's the story of a tea infuser. Is this the one? Oh, wow. Oh my God. So that's such an interesting story because, well, yes, I do have it very close to where I'm sitting now because I'm in my living room and I have a kitchen in here. And actually before this call, I prepared a tea for myself. So that's my tea. And actually, I'll show you that. So that's my tea infuser. And the story, yeah, the story behind it is that I was on holiday during a month of mentoring. I was on holiday and I was in a shopping mall that was in Melbourne. And I saw this tea infuser, and I'm a tea lover. And I was thinking, wow, that looks really nice. I would really like to buy it. But then, I really need it. Like no, like you don't need that. You have another one. So there is no point. But then I told, myself that negative story at first. But then I said, hold on. Why do you want this? So what's the story? Like, what story you are telling yourself? And you know what I did? I was in the middle of the shopping center. I closed my eyes. I put one of my hands on my heart and the other one on my belly. And I asked myself a question: would this bring you joy? Would you enjoy drinking a tea when you brew it from this tea infuser, in this tea infuser? And I said, yes, absolutely. Every time I see it, I feel joy. And it was worth it. But I didn't know that in the moment. That's how the intuition works. But you know what, but you don't know why. And now I can give you 10 different reasons why I needed that tea infuser back then. But back then, when I was buying it, I did it purely from my heart, from my gut. And it didn't need to make sense to my mind.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, this is the way how intuition works. Intuition is a deep knowing, and it's a truth that we experience. And yes, it is very often the complete opposite of the mind, and that is okay. I feel that our mind is a fabulous tool, and we're using it the wrong way. It's a little bit as if you have some carrots in front of you, and instead of chopping them with a knife, we're chopping them with a spoon. Oh my goodness. Of course, the end result will take forever, or it just somehow doesn't work out. So this is for me a metaphor for let's use the right tools in the right context. So let's use our intuition more for making decisions. And then let's use our mind for setting up strategic plans, for coming up with option A and B and C and whatever. So there's a place for everything. And I know that in the beginning it might be a little bit difficult because, again, we've been so much conditioned and this is the way how everybody does it. So kudos to you that you so quickly could reconnect to your inner compass, or some people would say your heart or your soul, or however you want to know it. I absolutely love that. So thanks for sharing this story. Another aspect that I found super interesting is we also talked about your energy and how you can feel more energized and vital and vibrant. So we worked on both things. On one side, it was what can we remove, what can you eliminate, what can you gracefully say no to, and what are the things that you can say yes to. So there were a couple of stories that I found interesting around the art of saying no gracefully. So if I remember well, in the past, you said yes to this and that because you've done it in the past and it comes easily to you. And then you realized, you know what, but I'm not enjoying it anymore. I'm doing it because I always did it. And, it makes other people happy. And yeah, of course, I feel happy when I make other people happy. But it's somehow not really in alignment with who I am. So I have two stories in mind about the art of gracefully saying no. Can you run us through at least one? And especially the aspect of, if it was there for you, did you feel any kind of fear or hesitation or like, oh, what will people say? And how did you navigate through that, or was it rather easy?
So yes, indeed. There were many situations in the past where I used to say yes to something and it felt aligned, and that was great. And that was that phase of my life. And now, again, I realized that something what I initially said yes to, I don't enjoy it anymore. I don't need it anymore. I don't feel like it's aligned anymore. And somebody approached me with a project they wanted me to support them with. And in the past, I did that. And this was a lot of fun and a lot of joy. And that was fantastic. And that was my growth phase. But now, in a way, I have outgrown myself. You know, I keep growing. And initially, I thought, well, how do I tell them no? You know, like they might think, well, she has done it before, so what's the problem?
Exactly.
But then I did say it from the place of love again. I said that it's simply something what I don't think I will be able to help you with these days, because I'm afraid I have too much on my plate. But if I have somebody, if I reach out to my network and find somebody who would be a perfect fit, I will let you know. And yes, so that's the way. And they did understand it. And as well, yes, and that was, this means, you know, when you have the right people around you, they will understand it. And very recently as well, that's not only, you know, professional life, that's personal life as well.
Yeah.
So recently, one of my friends, she invited me to an event, and I was like, you know what? I would really love to join, but I feel like I need some rest. I need time for myself. I need to take care of myself, because I know that I need to slow down a little bit because of the different things and projects happening in my life. And you know what? She sent me a message saying, you don't know how much I respect it, how much I respect you for saying that. You do you, and we see again each other later. And I was like, wow, that's something never happened to me. And it didn't, because either I used to say yes, or I would come up with different you know, excuses, or with different reasons. And I wouldn't say that I need time for myself. And that's something what has changed for me.
Love it. Oh, such a beautiful story, or such a beautiful experience, because for me, it once again shows that when we dare to speak our truth gracefully, and I think there is a massive difference between being brutally honest and being radically honest. Brutally is not what we're aiming for. A lot of people use that as an excuse to being a whole. And radical honesty is about sharing what you truly feel and what your needs are. And you had the courage to do that. And not only did you do it, you inspired another person, or you showed another person what it looks like to really love yourself, and how to be authentic, and how to follow what is important and what really works for you. And then you could recharge. She maybe then also said no to something she didn't want to do. So when you both met, you had both more energy. You both most probably will have more fun. And this, for me, this world makes just so much more sense if everybody would react or act a little bit more like that. And again, it takes time, and it's not only a mindset change, it is a behavioral change that we're going through here. So you have to think differently, you have to speak differently, and you have to act differently. And again, you mastered that within less than a month. I don't know if people understand the depth, the profoundness of that. Some individuals need months of therapy or whatever, and you, boom, just went out there because you felt it, it made sense to you. You had a new mindset, and you also have a new inner compass, a new guiding system that we reconnected you with. And again, kudos to you for doing that. Love it. Very, very
Thank
nice.
you. Thank
What
you.
else? I'm looking at my notes. Yeah, you said something legendary, and I want to quote you here.
Oh,
You said something like, Natalia, because of your work or your work saved me years. What do you meant by that? What did you mean by that?
well, that's very true what you are saying. You've saved me years. I thought initially, maybe days, weeks, months, but no, actually years. Years of discovery, trial and error, testing and learning, and still maybe not knowing or doing it a very hard and long way. You don't need to do that. Like when you have a mentor, when you have somebody who you can fully connect with, somebody who is there for you to listen, hold the space, to challenge you as well. It's not like all of the rainbows and everything. There were moments when I was like, I need to take a deep breath and sit with it and sleep over it and think about it. And yes, that happened. And I was ready as well. I was ready to do that. So I was ready to leave behind what didn't serve me anymore. And I was ready to go on a journey, transformation journey, on a change, on a change and on a process to develop my new self, my true self, to discover it. And during this process, I as well discovered my new values, or maybe I defined them. I came initially with 5 values, which are still very close to my heart. But then I realized there is something bigger. So my values used to be health and peace of mind and financial stability and adventure. And there was something else. And see, I don't even remember it now what it was.
Yeah.
Because it's there. It's part of the whole process. But my new values, that's first of all self-love. Then we have exploration and self-expression. And self-love is deep in here, is inside of you. And for the exploration, is pretty much what I mean with it is a self-growth. It's the mindset and the ways of doing things which will not keep me in my comfort zone, but rather in my growth zone. Yes. So it's a self-growth. And self-exploration is this curiosity you mentioned at the beginning of this call, curiosity, discovering what your inner child really needs and making sure that you make your little self, like your 5-year-old self, happy and proud of you. You are not doing that to impress other people. You don't compare yourself anymore when you do it from the place of love, when you do it from the place of love, not the lack.
Absolutely. And you also gift yourself with a self-love challenge. And I think there was also some new social media work included in that, right?
Oh, yes. So social media has been always part of my life, especially professionally. But when it comes to my personal brand, I was always overthinking it. But now I came up with a self-love challenge to myself. I gave myself 30 days to feel and look better. And I'm now at day 16, and I can see a huge change in my mindset, as well in my relationships, in the way I look as well. That's very interesting. I do different things when it comes to some supplements, but as well giving myself more time, slowing down, morning and evening routine, surrounding myself with supportive people, so social life, relationships, but as well career. My approach to my career and where I'm now at in my life has changed, because with all of this, I realized I like even more what I'm doing, and I'm going for more. So that's the self-love challenge. But what happened as well, people started approaching me. People wanted to have, Instagram lives with me, podcasts, and all other things. And I said to myself, you know what? Let's start a series, Instagram Live series, which is Embrace Your True Self. And it's all about holistic health and self-love and surrounding yourself with like-minded people. And I did have my first Instagram Live last month, and this month, yes. So that was very, very exciting and very new to me when you do things for the first time and you don't put the pressure on yourself anymore. You just come across as yourself. And it was amazing. And now the more sessions, more lives are coming, monthly lives on my social media, on my Instagram.
Wonderful. And not only did you face it and went live and start to attract like-minded people and opportunities, if I remember well, in the past, you did quite a few things from lack in the sense of external validation, kind of. I see that with a lot of people, and this was also true for me in the past. We gave our best to show our true selves, so we were wearing masks, which we all do. And again, it came from a subtle energy of, look at me. I want you to see me. I want you to approve me. I want to get your attention. And you dropped all of that. And because of that, because you learned to love and appreciate and see yourself and listen to yourself, you can act in a totally different way and say yes to only the things that you want to. Did I portray that in a correct way? Are there any subtle changes you would like to bring up?
Yeah, I completely agree what you've just said. So it used to be all about attention seeking, external validation, clapping, people, saying, yeah, great job, like you've done it amazing job. And this is still happening, and I still do the things I used to do, but I do it because I enjoy it. I do it from a different place. I do it because I really want to do it. And it was mainly about social media and content creation. I used to, I would say, hide behind the camera, and I would record and create content for other people, and even in a way for myself, but from the place of, look at me, I can do it. Yes, I can do it, and I do it. But I don't need you to tell me how great it is, because I know it's great, or I know I did my best. I did my best at this given moment. So it's all about progress, not perfection. Yeah.
Well said. So last point, and then let's slowly but surely roll this up and come to an end. You said you feel more energized, you experience more love or self-love, you feel more joyful. What about topics like groundedness and control? Like, do you feel lighter? Do you feel that there's less pressure? Do you feel more connected to something bigger than yourself? Tell us also a little bit what changed there, if something changed.
Yes, I do, definitely. You know me now, and you know where we started and where I'm at now. And what has changed, especially when it comes to peace of mind, being calm and grounded, I found myself very much now, I find myself now in the moment. enjoying the present, not worrying about the past or not thinking about the past because you can't change it, and not worrying about the future because you don't know what will happen. It's just being in the present moment and embracing that and enjoying that and letting go of all of the overthinking and just, accepting what is and attracting more things coming to your life.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
And kudos to that, because I remember when we started working that your mind did what my mind used to do, 50,000 trillion thoughts. And I also perceive you so much more rounded and relaxed and connected. And maybe a side note, because we said, you slow down and you give yourself these breaks, which does not mean at all that you turn into somebody who is slow and boring. It's actually the opposite. You can, when you work on things, you have more energy, you have more presence, you have more radiance, you have more power, and you can give 100, 110, 150%. And then as a gift to yourself, you take a break to recharge your batteries and go out there, which is an act of self-love or self-respect or self-acceptance. And this prevents you from burning out. And this also helps you reconnect to your intuition and then make wiser decisions. Because when you run after this thing and do this thing and do this thing, you don't ask yourself, or we don't ask ourselves, well, do I still want to do that? Is that still true for me? So it is a more mindful way of being, acting, thinking, which leads to even getting more things done, getting the right things done, and being more energetic. I feel that it was important that we point this out, because some people, when they hear slowing down, they're like, oh my God, you want to turn me into something lame? I'm a tiger. Please don't cut my claws. I'm like, no. We're sharpening your claws. This is the complete opposite, right?
Yes. So that's exactly how I could describe it, because it's not about, slowing down and suddenly doing nothing or trying to avoid, all of the challenges. Life happens, right? And you have all of those amazing projects and you have all of the things happening, but you approach them in a very different way. You are recharged, you have energy, and you are actually focused on what matters the most to you. You are not distracted because you clearly can see what is aligned and what is not. So as well, some element of self-discipline is in here, because self-discipline is, in my opinion, some kind of the self-love. So self-discipline
100%.
is the act of self-love. You might not think about it at the first look, but yes, it's about developing this kind of self-discipline behavior. When you show up for yourself and you do the things because they feel important to you. You are not distracted by some other projects or mindless activities. You practice temptations, yes. You practice intentional living. You are aligned with your purpose, your why, and you have your mission, and you just do what you always wanted to do, but you didn't have that clarity.
Beautifully said. So what's your advice or your message to people out there who are literally at the verge of this cliff and they're like, oh, should I jump? Shouldn't I jump? Should I jump? Shouldn't I jump? Oh, I mean, my soul wants to jump, but my ego is like, ah. What is it that you can share with them? A thought, a feeling, an impression, an idea?
Should I jump, or maybe I shouldn't? So if you keep asking yourself this question now and you don't take action, you will ask the same question in 1 year, in 2 years. You will stay exactly at the same place with a little bit more distractions and a little bit more frustrations on the way. go for it. You know, embrace the change. Be ready for some unpleasant feelings, because your journey might be different to mine, but you might face like a identity shift. You might face a feeling of, well, that's not me anymore. Thank you. Thank you for, you know, the past, for what you've done for me, like my old self. And now is the time for the new. But because the new is new, you don't know what is out there. So you go on this exploration journey. Yes, it is. And it will be, but that's the beauty of it. So
100%.
go for it.
Yeah.
And embrace the change, because that's the only way to embrace your true self.
I fully agree. Life is a school and we're here to learn. So, Beata, where can people find you? You said Instagram, but you're also active on LinkedIn. I think Instagram is your primary platform, right?
Yes, at the moment, primarily you can find me sharing content on Instagram, but as well, please reach out and connect on LinkedIn. And that's Beata Bednarski, which is Beata Bednarski.
Great. I'll make sure that I link to your accounts or to your profiles. And once again, thank you for everything, for your trust, for your curiosity, for your sense of adventure and exploration, for being so open and vulnerable and being here today. It was so much fun working with you. I look forward to potential collaboration in the very near future, maybe even in person. Woo! Very, very lovely. And yeah, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everything as well. Thank you for being there, for holding the space, for challenging, for questioning things, for making me think, and for making me change for the better, and making me discover my new self, embracing my true self. Thank you for that.
You are most welcome, Beata.